Thanks for watching ERi-TV, dear viewers. Welcome to our news broadcast. Here are the headlines. His Holiness Abuna Carlos passes away. Minister Osman Salah delivers message of President Sias to Kenya. Russia accuses NATO of fanning tension in South China Sea. Japan sets $318 billion for military spending for coming 5 years. In our domestic news, His Holiness Abuna Carlos, 5th Patriarch of the Orthodox Tewahedo Church of Eritrea, passed away yesterday, 2nd November 2022, at the age of 96. Expressing deep sorrow for the passing away of His Holiness Abuna Carlos, the Holy Synod of the Orthodox Tewahedo Church of Eritrea said that the protocol regarding funeral service will be announced in the days to come. His Holiness Abuna Carlos was elected as the 5th Patriarch of the Orthodox Tewahedo Church of Eritrea on 13 May 2021. Mr. Osman Salah, Minister of Foreign Affairs, delivered message of President Sias of work aid to President William Ruto of the Republic of Kenya. The message of President Sias focused on bilateral relations as well as regional cooperation. In his message, President Sias, on behalf of the people and government of Eritrea, congratulated President William Ruto for his election as President to the Republic of Kenya and wished peace and prosperity to the people of Kenya. President Ruto, on his part, expressed Kenya's readiness to further consolidate long-standing bilateral ties between the two countries, pointing out on the positive role of the Eritrean government on regional issues and especially in the Horn of Africa. President William Ruto expressed the need of countries in the region to work jointly for realizing peace and stability as well as political and economic developments. President William Ruto further expressed his desire to pay a visit to Eritrea in the near future with a view to further develop bilateral relations and cooperation between his country and Eritrea. The two sides also discussed on the regional developments. Nurse Lata Yusuf Kaflamariam, head of the ERi Community Hospital, reported that as a result of sustainable awareness-raising activities, encouraging results has been registered in pre- and postnatal care as well as delivery of services, indicating that the number of pregnant women seeking treatment and delivery at health facilities is increasing from time to time. Nurse Lata Yusuf said that in the past 9 months alone, the number has increased by 14%. Pointing out that waiting rooms for pregnant women from remote areas has been put in place, Nurse Lata Yusuf called on pregnant women to take advantage of the opportunities presented. Regarding vaccination service, Nurse Lata Yusuf said that vaccination program has reached to 100% and efforts are being exerted to preserve the achievements already registered. ERi Community Hospital is providing healthcare service provision to residents of ERi, as well as patients referred from Shu'ab Salaba, Halipental, and Adarba health stations. Those are domestic news. Please stay tuned for the international news right after the short break. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov on Thursday accused NATO of whipping up tensions near China in a way that poses risks for Russia. Lavrov said that was why Russia was developing military cooperation with China and conducting joint exercises. Lavrov alluded to the formation of the AUKUS alliance between the United States, Britain and Australia. He also accused NATO of trying to drag India into an anti-Russian and anti-Chinese alliance at a time when the West was attempting to squeeze out Russian influence. Japan is set to allocate $295 billion to $318 billion for military spending over the 5 years from the next fiscal year that begins in April. That's a relative jump from a current 5-year military plan to spend 27.5 trillion yen, and raises concerns that it will aggravate one of the industrial world's worst debt burdens, which amounts to twice the size of Japan's annual economic output. On Monday, Prime Minister Fumio Kishida called on his ministers to work on a plan to increase military spending to an amount equivalent to 2% of gross domestic product within 5 years, from 1% now. The rise in military spending comes amid a push among Japanese leaders to discard the country's pacifist constitution despite opposition from the public. The constitution, which has been in place in its original form since it was drafted following World War II in 1947, it was engineered to prevent Japan from waging war and maintaining a military alliance. The U.S., however, is currently the key driver in spawning up the seeds of militarism in Japan as it seeks to mobilize allies in Asia to keep China in check. Last year, Japan and the United States announced plans for naval drills in the South China Sea as part of their first ever anti-submarine war games in the territorial waters. In recent years, Tokyo has put forth orders for scores of U.S.-designed F-37 stealth fighter jets capable of vertical takeoff and landing amid plans to transform some of its existing ships into aircraft carriers. Please stay tuned now for a recap of tonight's headlines. His Holiness Abuna Carlos passes away. Minister Osman Saleh delivers message of President Isias Afwerki to Kenya. Russia accuses NATO of fanning tensions in South China Sea. Japan sets $318 billion for military spending for coming 5 years. That was our news. It is good night from us.